I used to not enjoy facial hair, but then it grew on me. My name is Victor Ashley, and I'm a real estate agent out of Seattle, Washington. This is how you get a hold of me. Also, while you're at it, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. The snarkier, the better. And at the same time, feel free to hit subscribe because I cover a lot of different topics, areas, zip codes, and concepts that might be important to you. So let's get into some of them today. Thank you for joining me on this journey. So let's begin, and what I want to do is I'm going to go over one of the zip codes that I cover, and this is the 98087, and I want to give you a quick idea of what it looks like, and at the same time I'm trying to do an actual review of them this week because a lot of people ask me not to do only the hard numbers, and we're going to do that next week. But here's the Space Needle. The Space Needle is actually about 16 miles south of our zip code, and I wanted to give you that as a point of reference. Also, I want to point out that this is just south of Painfield. Painfield is a regional airport that's in the Seattle area, and usually people fly into Seattle SeaTac, so the SeaTac airport. But I just wanted to give you an idea that there is another regional airport in this area that you can use as well. And LYNNWOOD is located just south of it, and it's also just south of Everett, just north of the Mill Creek Bothell area, as well as it is to the northeast of Edmonds. Well, now that we have a quick rundown on where it is, let's cover some of the houses that we're actually looking at. Some of the houses that we're looking at in this area, I pulled up our local Northwest multiple listing service. That's what we call the MLS. And I pulled out all the homes that are under $1 million. The reason why I do under $1 million is because our buyer curve is between $400,000 and about $800,000 in the Seattle area. So those are typically where people are buying homes, more than likely or not. And I'll go into a buyer curve at a future video for you. But I already covered it one time, and I wanted to just go back and remaster it again. So when I actually pulled the homes that are under $1 million, I had to find a way to actually organize them on what's most affordable. What we use is the price per square foot method. The price per square foot method, we just take the listing cost and we divide it by the square footage, and it comes out with a price per square foot for us. Now I have that organized right now on the left hand side from highest to lowest, and I also came out with a average of about $417 a square foot. Now the average home that we have in this LYNNWOOD area, the 98087, looks like 1880 square feet roughly. So let's just call it 1900 square feet, 33 days on market, 3 beds, 2.5 bath, and then at the same time, its cost right now, its offer cost is $763,000 roughly, $762,000. Now, I wanted to give a quick rundown on what it would actually cost to buy this house. What's some of the background that you'll need to actually buy this house. And that comes out to a household income of roughly $215,000, low monthly debts if you can, $60,000 down payment, and at the same time, I'm using a 6.5% interest rate and also a credit of at least $700. Now, I want to be really specific about this because everyone's FICO and credit score and everybody's financial situation is completely different. I'm just giving you a rough basis of some of the things that you would need to do to qualify for this loan. If you have a question on this, you can hit me up and I'll introduce you to some of the mortgage people that I have in my book. I'll be happy to introduce you to y'all. So let's get back into that right now. But once you qualify for this home, let's look at what the payment would be roughly. So with a loan amount that would put you at a purchase price at right at $765,000, your monthly payment would be roughly $45.73. That is only including your payment and your interest. It does not include any kind of special assessments, insurance, taxes, or even the big one, HOAs. So let's get into that right now, and I just wanted to point that stuff out to you. So now that we're looking at our payment of being $4,573, You might say to me, hey, Victor, that's okay. I just want to rent right now. What what it cost me to rent a house roughly in that area. Or you could be the flip side of that and you say, hey, Victor, I have a mortgage now of $4,500. What can I expect to get on rents if I have to actually turn around and rent this thing out instead of actually selling it? Well, rents right now in this area based on that size, not including yard, are roughly $3,300. So there's going to be about a $1,300 miss on this, or a $1,300 savings depending if you decide to stay a renter instead of being a home buyer. And that's about a 40% difference. So I want to point that out to you because it's really important when you actually do your budget, either if you're selling or if you're renting, if you're selling or you're buying, because it's very important to figure out where your rent is and where you're going to be on your monthly payment. Now let's get into one of these houses because everybody's been asking me to actually look at the pretty houses again instead of just doing a rundown of the numbers. But here's one that I think that might be the best economical point, and this is very close to our average, but at the same time our price per square foot is going to be more acceptable. This is number 8, and keep in mind I try to do this as live as possible, so I don't do a lot of pre-records or I don't do a lot of scripting. I'm trying to give you an idea of actually what I feel about this property when I take a look at it, and I'm trying to give it to you as someone that has done a lot of buyer tours, and also because I want to give you a good idea of what I actually think of this home. So again, I'm not representing you at this time. I just want to be clear about that. But let's go into this one right now. This is a 3-bed, 2.5 bath home in the LYNNWOOD area, like I said, and it's about 1,740 square feet. And our price comes out to right now $618,000. Originally, this was on the market for $640,000. Now, this is important to also note here, but I did notice an HOA on this right off the bat of $293. So when we actually go back and we put this into our payment calculator, we're going to have to add $293. So now we have an idea. But let's take a look on the inside of the house. And it looks like this is a condo association. And again, it looks like it's just connected walls kind of thing. But you do right off the bat have 2 dedicated parking spots inside the garage. That's really important in any area because you want to make sure you're not like my neighbor that I was just watching out the window this morning, and they had somebody hit their car because they live on the street level. Now, here's just the inside basic upgrades, everything like that. It looks like this is a real staging, so the staging is more than likely still there. But keep in mind, staging usually is on a contract of 60 days. So we're at 53 days right now, so they might have pulled the staging by now. We go into our living room. The living room looks great, just as usual, and it has a gas stove. And then on the inside, this is more of an early 2000, late 90s remodel that I've noticed a lot. I wanted to point this out because, you know, you have the walnut cabinets and then you have the dark countertop. You don't usually find that in any of the remodels right now. All the colors are very light. The countertops are like a very solid quartz, and then you have your steel appliances and then your backsplash. That's usually tiled. Yeah, but from the basics of this, it's like a decent looking house, and this is something that I would recommend to my clients because at the same time, you got to remember that this comes out to $354 per square foot, so $354 per square foot. And I also wanted to point this out because I did the March over March changes in prices last year, and our average actually completed sale last month was $387 per square foot. So this is below our market. So this is something that is within our price range to buy, even though it has an HOA. Let's do a quick rundown of what our cost calculator would be, and then we'll just call it a day. So let's go back to this one right now. So let's say you get this at exactly $610. Let's just do that. So you buy this thing at $610, and you're qualified for this mortgage. And then we're going to put you in a $35,000, let's do a $40,000 down payment. So your loan amount would be $570,000 roughly. And again, I'm using the general interest rate just so you're aware. And then at the same time, our mortgage comes out to $3,697. Now remember, you got to add our 293 to that because that's your HOAs, and your mortgage payment would be roughly $4,000 a month. Now keep in mind too, when we do our rents on this, let's take a look at that. If we pencil this out for rents, the size of the house is 1742, so equals 1742 times, and our rents right now are $1.73 in this area, and it comes out to $3,000. So roughly to buy this house, and then if you bought this house, it would be about $1,000 more. But at the same time, it would you would be at the point where you're making your equity at this point, and this is very close to a pencil out. So this is actually one that I would recommend to bring people into. So I just wanted to take a quick moment and go through this. I know that these review ones are a little bit longer. I do try to keep these a little shorter, but I really appreciate you guys joining me today. Hopefully you found something that might be enjoyable or informative to you. And as always, it was a pleasure working with you today, and I hope you have a fantastic day.